Cathy. Uh-oh. Shame on you.
People were making fun of Angel Reese. She had a couple of bricks and a couple of shots getting blocked. And this video in particular, let's play the video of her going to the hoop and getting her shot blocked. Let's play that video.
Playing in her sixth game of her WNBA career, Smith blocks Angel and will send it back.
During the Chicago Sky's inaugural victory against the Dallas Wings, observers witnessed a notable shift in Angel Reese's approach to the game. The matchup featured two highly anticipated rookies that the WNBA eagerly promotes as future stars, Angel Reese and Paige Bueckers. However, the spotlight ultimately fell on Carmela Cardoso, who achieved a personal best with 23 points to secure Chicago's first win of the season. Reese's performance statistics reflected her evolving understanding of her role: 2 successful field goals out of 6 attempts, 9 defensive rebounds, 6 total points, and 5 assists. While social media content highlighted moments where her shots were blocked or missed entirely, these instances actually demonstrated meaningful development in her basketball intelligence.
So I saw a couple of different feeds pointing this out. One of them's like, look, here she is with the crossover, and then there was another one talking about here she is with the hezzy, and then womp, 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 she gets her shot blocked. But having watched particularly the fourth quarter of this game, Angel Reese actually showed true progress and self-awareness. She only took 6 shots. I'm not being remotely sarcastic. I'm not saying, like, thank God she figured out not to shoot.
The footage showing Reese's block shot attempt by Smith became viral content, with various commentators focusing on her unsuccessful offensive moves. However, deeper analysis of the fourth quarter revealed genuine advancement in her basketball awareness. Her decision to attempt only 6 shots throughout the game represented significant strategic thinking rather than offensive limitation. This restraint demonstrated Reese's recognition of her current strengths and weaknesses. Rather than forcing difficult shots that would likely miss or get blocked, she embraced her natural abilities as a rebounder, facilitator, and screen setter. The team's strategy shifted to feeding the basketball to Cardoso, their 6'7" center who possesses superior offensive capabilities.
I'm more saying, like, hey, this is great. She's figured out she's not an offensive player, and she's more of a role player, a rebounder, a distributor, screen setter. And they figured out a way to feed the ball to Cardoso, their 6'7" center, who does have some offensive skills. This is progress. And I want for people to understand where the progress has come from.
This tactical adjustment emerged from sustained public scrutiny of Reese's shooting abilities. The criticism she received through social media and sports commentary forced her to confront reality about her offensive limitations. Instead of continuing to launch contested shots that would generate more negative attention, she adapted her playing style to contribute in areas where she excels. The transformation illustrates how constructive criticism serves athlete development. When players receive protection from all negative feedback, their growth becomes stunted. Critics who point out specific weaknesses provide valuable information that can lead to improvement, assuming the athlete possesses the maturity to process and apply the feedback.
I'm giving Angel Reese credit, but I also want to give her critics credit. And why I keep saying that criticism is the key to development. And that when you try to protect people from criticism, you're actually giving them arrested development. Why, at least for one night, and at least for any victory, has Angel Reese said, you know what? I'm not some great offensive player. Let me quit forcing shots up. Let me do these other things that help us win. Why is she doing that?
Professional sports development relies heavily on honest assessment of player capabilities. Athletes who cannot accept criticism often plateau in their development, while those who embrace feedback tend to maximize their potential. Reese's adjustment demonstrates the positive outcomes that can result when players acknowledge their limitations and work within realistic parameters. The process of accepting criticism requires emotional maturity and professional discipline. Many athletes struggle with this transition, particularly those who dominated at previous levels but face new challenges in professional competition. Reese's ability to modify her approach suggests strong mental fortitude and team-oriented thinking.
Because her critics have been heard. She's gone through the process of getting heated up over social media and people belittling her offensive skills. She can't be in denial of it. She's having to deal with the fact, I'm going to keep forcing these shots up. They're going to keep getting blocked. I'm going to keep missing all of the rim and throwing these bricks up. And therefore, I'm going to give people more ammo to make fun of me over social media.
Reese's willingness to modify her approach after Chicago's 0-4 start demonstrates basketball intelligence and team-first mentality. Rather than stubbornly pursuing individual statistics, she recognized that her previous approach was hindering team success and adjusted accordingly. However, the ongoing tension with Caitlin Clark continues to overshadow Reese's basketball development. This manufactured rivalry primarily benefits content creators and media personalities who profit from controversy, rather than serving the players involved. Various commentators and analysts use this supposed feud to generate discussion and engagement while positioning themselves as advocates for one player or another. The media landscape surrounding women's basketball has become increasingly focused on personality conflicts rather than athletic achievement. This trend mirrors broader entertainment industry patterns where controversy generates more engagement than pure athletic performance. Social media algorithms particularly reward divisive content, creating incentives for media personalities to amplify conflicts that may not actually exist between players.
Angel Reese, being smart, is tapping out. It's saying, you know what, I got to adjust my game. We're 0-4 to start the season. We looked uncompetitive. People are starting to rip me and this team. Let me show some self-awareness. Let me adjust my game. Let me play in a way that befits my actual skill set.
Independent analysis from multiple sources reveals the actual breakdown. Games featuring Clark's Indiana Fever averaged 1.178 million viewers, while all other games attracted only 94,000 viewers. This means that non-Clark games actually drew fewer viewers in 2024 than in 2023, when the average was 5,500 viewers. The mathematical reality of these numbers exposes the fragility of the WNBA's supposed growth. Without Clark's extraordinary drawing power, the league would have recorded declining viewership despite increased marketing efforts and media attention. This dependence on a single player creates significant business risks and raises questions about long-term sustainability. Furthermore, the 94,000 average for non-Clark games represents a concerning downward trend that suggests the league's underlying popularity may actually be weakening. This decline occurred despite increased overall media coverage and promotional efforts, indicating that general interest in WNBA basketball has not meaningfully expanded beyond Clark's specific appeal.
This is why we have to allow athletes, black, white, whatever color, to be criticized. If we protect them from criticism, if we explain all criticism of them as some form of racism, they then are allowed to ignore their critics and they never adjust and develop.
WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert recently published an extensive article crediting herself and her strategic planning for the league's recent surge in popularity and viewership. The piece positions Engelbert as the primary architect behind the WNBA's breakthrough season, claiming that her three-pillar strategy created the conditions for success. Engelbert's strategic framework emphasized thinking player first, driving stakeholder success, and transforming the fan experience. Throughout the lengthy article, she presents these initiatives as the foundation for the league's 2024 achievements, while barely acknowledging the individual players who actually drove the increased interest. The commissioner's analysis of viewership numbers reveals significant statistical manipulation. She claims that regular season games average 1.2 million viewers, representing a 70% increase from the previous season. However, this figure obscures the dramatic disparity between games featuring Caitlin Clark and those without her presence.
Angel Reese is going through the process. Ryan Clark and all these other people that think it's their job to protect Angel Reese from all criticism and protect all black women from criticism. You're arresting their development. They'll never improve. That's why, again, criticism is a form of love. When people quit criticizing, What they're saying is, I have no faith and belief in you to change and progress. It's why, even when my critics are misguided,
Content creators benefit financially from maintaining these artificial rivalries through increased viewership, sponsorship opportunities, and social media engagement. However, the players themselves often bear the negative consequences of this manufactured drama, including decreased focus on their athletic development and potential damage to their professional reputations.
I still try to appreciate and understand where they're coming from, because I know, hey, they must have a sincere interest in me. And there's a chance that I may miss something, and they may have caught something that is worthy of me paying attention to that form of criticism. So, Angel Reese, I'm telling you, I'm rooting for you. I really am. And so I hope that you hear the critics, RG3 and others, that are saying like, hey, you have this irrational hate of Caitlin Clark, and you think it serves you. You think it's making you money.
The reality is that Reese could establish a successful WNBA career by focusing on her natural strengths, rebounding, defense, and facilitating for teammates. Her tenacious approach to securing rebounds and her ability to create opportunities for others provide a foundation for long-term success in professional basketball. A strategic pivot away from the Clark rivalry would ultimately benefit Reese's career trajectory. Embracing a supportive relationship with Clark while maintaining competitive drive during games would improve Reese's public image and create positive momentum for both players and the league overall. Clark's natural inclination towards supporting fellow players rather than engaging in public feuds makes her an ideal candidate for this type of reconciliation. A collaborative approach between these prominent rookies would generate positive attention for the WNBA and demonstrate maturity from both athletes.
Cathy Engelbert pens this beautiful article written by Cathy, about Cathy, for Cathy, explaining why she is solely responsible for the boom of the WNBA. Folks, I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. The commissioner of the WNBA on transferring the league ahead of a breakout season. And what was that plan that Cathy Engelbert put in place?
The overall league average of 57,000 viewers, according to Forbes reporting, only appears respectable because Clark's massive audience numbers mathematically elevate the entire league's statistics. Without her contribution, the WNBA would have experienced declining viewership despite Engelbert's proclaimed strategic initiatives. Engelbert's article mentions Clark's name only twice and Angel Reese once.
Working in partnership with my new WNBA team members, NBA colleagues, and WNBA owners, we developed a strategy with 3 pillars. The league would think player first. Wow. Drive stakeholder success. Cathy, you are a revolutionary. And work on transforming the fan experience. You are a visionary.
Despite these players being the primary drivers of increased attention, instead she celebrates moments like the New York Liberty's mascot, Ellie the Elephant, appearing in Vogue magazine as indicators of mainstream breakthrough. This focus on mascot coverage rather than player achievements contradicts Engelbert's stated player-first philosophy. While both Reese and Cameron Brink secured major magazine features, the commissioner chose to highlight a mascot's social media presence as evidence of cultural impact.
Cathy Engelbert, in this long, drawn-out article, goes on and gives herself credit for why the WNBA has finally entered some type of mainstream conversation, has finally entered some type of casual viewing experience. Yeah, I'll turn it on. It's about damn time. But Cathy Engelbert, in her naivete or in her delusion, she takes credit for it.
The mascot's viral popularity stems largely from provocative performances during games and social media content, raising questions about the type of attention the league seeks to cultivate. This approach seems disconnected from building sustainable interest in women's basketball as a competitive sport.
Instead of saying it's because of Caitlin Clark, instead of saying it's because of the person from Iowa, instead of saying it was because of her, Cathy says, oh, it's all me. My strategy, my plan, my 3 pillars. In this entire article, Cathy Engelbert mentions Caitlin Clark's name 2, maybe 3 times. Angel Reese's name once. Cameron Brink's name once. Let's get right into it because this article, from start to finish, is disgusting. But we're only going to touch on the main points by nearly every metric.
Professional sports leagues typically aim to build their brand around athletic excellence, competitive drama, and player personalities rather than mascot entertainment. The emphasis on mascot coverage suggests a fundamental misunderstanding of what creates lasting fan engagement in professional sports. Successful leagues focus on developing star players, compelling storylines, and competitive balance rather than ancillary entertainment elements. The choice to highlight mascot achievements over player accomplishments also reflects poorly on the league's marketing priorities. In a player-first organization, athletic achievements and player development should receive primary attention, with mascot activities serving as supplementary entertainment rather than headline features.
2024 was a standout year for the Women's National Basketball Association, as transcendent rookies Caitlin Clark, there it is, Angel Reese, there she is, and Cameron Brink, yet again, entered the league. Regular season games drew an average of 1.2 million viewers, up 170% from the previous season. Let's stop right there. Pull up. Skirt. Interesting, Cathy. So you are telling me that regular season games drew an average of 1.2 million viewers.
Engelbert's claim that the league's success resulted from years of hard work and preparation conflicts with documented evidence of consistent financial losses and declining interest prior to. The WNBA went nearly 16 years without achieving a single game audience of 1 million viewers, then suddenly recorded 22 such games.
You guys have all seen this tweet before by Mr. Michael Mulvihill. Final WNBA regular season viewership, all rated networks. Caitlin Clark games, 1.178 million. All other games not featuring Caitlin Clark, 394,000. But Ben, this is just a Twitter person. How am I supposed to take this at face? Fair point, folks, but you know I'll never come and lie to you. I'm not Cathy Engelbert.
Financial records show the league lost $50 million in the previous year, with NBA subsidies of $10 million annually plus an additional $25 million for charter flights. These numbers contradict narratives about strategic business development and suggest the league's survival depended entirely on external financial support. Historical context reveals that the WNBA has never achieved profitability since its multiple attempts to build stars around players like Candace Parker, Brianna Stewart, and Aja Wilson failed to generate sustainable audience growth. The league's viability remained questionable until Clark's arrival provided unprecedented viewer interest.
I'm not Monica McNutt. I come here trying to tell you the truth. For the regular season, this is a Forbes article straight out of Forbes with no horse in the race, no need to pull the wool over my eye. For the regular season, nationally televised WNBA games averaged 657,000 viewers, the highest audience in 24 seasons. Television games with Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever averaged 1.18, while compared to 394,000 for all other games. Interesting. So Cathy Engelbert said it's 1.2 million viewers in the regular season, but Forbes, they're telling me that it's only 657,000 viewers. Somebody's lying to me.
Adam Silver's previous statements about the league's challenges emphasize the fundamental business problem. Even with low ticket prices, insufficient demand existed to create a viable operation. The NBA absorbed 70% of the league's losses over 22 years while searching for a sustainable model. Clark's impact transformed this dynamic overnight, generating the type of mainstream attention that decades of strategic planning failed to achieve. Her presence elevated not only her own team's viewership, but created a mathematical effect that improved the league's overall statistics. The disconnect between Engelbert's public statements and the underlying financial and viewership realities suggests potential challenges in upcoming collective bargaining negotiations. League officials appear out of touch with the true drivers of their recent success, which could complicate discussions with players who may overestimate their leverage. With Clark's injury affecting viewership numbers and the league's dependence on a single player becoming apparent, the sustainability of recent gains remains questionable. unsustainable. The commissioner's reluctance to acknowledge this reality may indicate deeper strategic miscalculations about the league's actual position and future prospects. The WNBA's current prominence results directly from Clark's exceptional drawing power, supplemented by secondary interest in players like Reese. Engelbert's attempt to claim credit for these developments through strategic planning narratives ignores the fundamental role that individual star power plays in professional sports entertainment.